Under the shade of a mighty banyan tree, Prince Arjuna sat on a large stone, his eyes fixed on the river flowing before him. The soft breeze carried the distant sound of temple bells, yet his mind was filled with turmoil. In his hands were two scrolls, two fates waiting to unfold. 1. The first scroll was a decree from the royal court. His father, the mighty king, had chosen him to rule the vast kingdom. The throne awaited him, promising power, wealth, and the comforts of royal life. Yet Arjuna knew that ruling a kingdom required political cunning, compromises, and at times even deception. 2. The second scroll was a call from the great sages of the Himalayas, inviting him to the ancient Gurukulam to master the secrets of the Vedas and the ultimate truth of life. It was a path of discipline, solitude, and deep meditation. No riches, no luxuries, only the pursuit of wisdom. Arjuna's heart was torn. Should I embrace the throne and fulfill my father's expectations, or walk the path of knowledge and seek truth beyond this world? Just then, the leaves of the banyan tree rustled, and a radiant old sage emerged from the shadows, dressed in simple saffron robes. His eyes, deep and knowing, met Arjuna's. "You seem troubled, my child. What burdens your heart?" Arjuna hesitated, then spoke. "I stand between two paths. One leads to a life of power and kingship, the other to wisdom and self-discovery. I do not know which is right." The sage smiled. "Let me tell you a story." The sage picked up a twig from the ground and drew a chariot in the sand. "Your life, young prince, is like this chariot, and to reach your true destination, you must understand how it moves." He pointed at different parts of the chariot. The self, Atman, is the passenger, the eternal being within you. The intellect, Buddhi, is the charioteer, the one who must guide wisely. The mind, Manas, is the reins. It controls your thoughts and actions. The senses, Indriyas, are the horses. They pull you toward pleasure or truth. The path, Dharma, is the road, the journey of your soul. The sage then lifted his gaze to Arjuna and asked, "What happens if a charioteer loses control over the reins?" "The horses will run wild, and the chariot will crash," Arjuna answered. The sage nodded. "Exactly. If the mind is weak, the senses will pull you in every direction, toward wealth, pleasure, and illusions. But if the intellect is strong, it will control the mind and guide the senses along the righteous path. Only such a person reaches their true goal." Arjuna felt a chill. The sage was speaking directly to his dilemma. The sage then picked up two objects from his satchel. One was a golden crown, the other a wooden staff of a wandering sage. "These represent the two paths before you," he said. "One is Preyas, the path of pleasure. It is shiny, tempting, and full of ease. But in the end, it binds you to the material world, making you forget your true self." He held up the golden crown. "The other is Shreyas, the path of wisdom. It is difficult, full of sacrifice, and requires discipline. But in the end, it leads to true knowledge and liberation." He gestured toward the wooden staff. "Most people choose Preyas, seeking comfort and fleeting joys. But the wise, those who seek the highest truth, choose Shreyas." For a long time, Arjuna sat in silence. The river continued to flow as steady as the truth itself. He looked at the golden crown. It glittered under the fading sun, a symbol of power, duty, and material success. He then looked at the wooden staff, simple, rough, but filled with the promise of true wisdom and self-mastery. Finally, with steady hands, he picked up the staff. "I choose Shreyas," he said, his voice unwavering. The sage smiled. "You have chosen the path of truth. It will not be easy, but it will lead you beyond the illusions of this world." At that moment, Arjuna felt a deep sense of clarity. The confusion that had troubled his heart for days had disappeared. He now knew his path, not the one of fleeting power, but of eternal wisdom. When he looked up to thank the sage, he was gone. Only the golden crown and the wooden staff remained. Arjun bowed deeply and walked toward the Himalayas, leaving behind the kingdom, but stepping into his true destiny. The wisdom of the Katha Upanishad. Your mind is a chariot. If you don't control it, your desires will control you. Shreyas, truth, is difficult but rewarding. Preyas, pleasure, is easy but empty. True success is not in wealth but in discovering your real self. Master your senses, and you will master your destiny. Would you choose the golden crown or the wooden staff? Let me know in the comments. And if this story gave you wisdom, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And not forget to subscribe our channel Vitality Veda to awaken your consciousness.